tough, get going. It's got to be strong and determined. As I many times explained, a laser beam can burn through 2 inches of steel. 2 inches of steel, can you imagine? 2 inches of steel, a laser beam can burn through. So we have to be laser-like in our Krishna consciousness to burn through all the obstacles, you see. Just burn through them. Because they're there, there's tons of obstacles within and without. So we have to be very strong, we burn through all the obstacles. And guess what's on the other side of the obstacles? Krishna. Krishna's on the other side. Right now, the main obstacles are within. Lust, anger, madness, illusion, greed, and envy. So we're being blocked from actually experiencing even though we're sitting in Vrindavan, we're being blocked from tasting the real Vrindavan. But the Bhagavatam is going to help us cut through that steel-like barrier in our consciousness. So we can actually be in Vrindavan. As Vibhamangala Thakur, he sat for 700 years in this very place. Can you imagine 700 years sitting in this very place where we're seated now, Sri Vrindavan Dham? And he actually was in the spiritual world simultaneously in his transcendental rasas with Krishna. So it's there, it's available, we just have to learn how to connect with it. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is the primary means of connecting with it. So today we're going to go over one of the key verses of the whole Bhagavatam, and really enliven, I'm speaking on this 5.18.9, one of the most essential verses of the whole Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. With more feeling, come on. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And with even more feeling, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Svastyatu Vishvakala Prasidatam. Tayanta Bhutani Shivam Metodhaya. Namascha Badang Bhajatam Madoksaje. Avaishatam no Matarapya Haitaki. Svastascha Vishvashakala Prasidatam. Tayanta Bhutani Shivam Metodaya. Namascha Badang Bhajatam Madoksaje. Avaishatam no Matarapya Haitaki. Svashavashvashakala Prasidatam. Tayanta Bhutani Shivam Metodhaya. Namascha Badang Bhajatam Madoksaje. Avaishatam no Matarapya Haitaki. Svasti, auspiciousness. Us too, let there be Vishvashva of the entire universe. Khalaḥ, the envious, almost everyone. Prasidatam, let them be pacified. Jayantu, let them consider. Bhutani, all living entities. Shivam, auspiciousness. Mita, mutual. Diya, by their intelligence. Mana, the mind. Cha, and Badram, calmness. Bhajatat, let it experience. Adhokshaje, in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's beyond the perception of mind, intelligence, and senses. Avaishatam, let it be absorbed. Na, our, mati, intelligence, api, indeed, haitaki, without any motive. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. May there be good fortune throughout the entire universe, and may envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga, for by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thoughts of Him. Purport. Any water? The following verse describes a Vaishnava. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patetanang pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Just like a desired tree, a Vaishnava can fulfill all the desires of anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet. Prahlāda Mahārāja is a typical Vaishnava. He prays not for himself, but for all living entities, the gentle, the envious, and the mischievous. He always thought of the welfare of mischievous persons like his father, Hiranyakashipu. Prahlāda Mahārāja did not ask for anything for himself, rather he prayed for the Lord to excuse his demoniac father. This is the attitude of a Vaishnava. He always thinks of the welfare of the entire universe. Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Dharma are meant for persons who are completely free of envy, parama nirmatsaranam. Therefore, Prahlāda Mahārāja prays in this verse, khalaḥ prasidatam, may all the envious persons be pacified. In the material world is full of envious persons, but if one frees himself of envy, he becomes liberal in his social dealings and he can think of others' welfare. Anyone who takes up Krishna consciousness and engages himself completely in the service of the Lord cleanses his mind of all envy. Therefore, we should pray to Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva to sit in our hearts. We should pray, Bahir Nṛsiṁho, Hṛdaye Nṛsiṁho. Let Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva sit in the core of my heart, killing all my bad propensities. Let my mind become clean so I may peacefully worship the Lord and bring peace to the entire world. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti has given us a very nice, fine purport in this regard. Whenever one offers a prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one always requests some benediction from Him. Even pure Nishkama devotees pray for some benediction, as instructed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Sakshastakam. Ainanda tanaja ken karam patitang mam vishame babam bado kripayata vapada pankaja stita duli sadrisham bachintaya. O my Lord, O my son Maharaj, O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I'm your eternal servant, yet somehow though I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death, please pick me up from the ocean of birth and death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. In another prayer, Lord Chaitanya says, Janmani Janmarishvade Bhavatad Bhakti Rahaita Kitoi. Life after life, let me have unalloyed love and devotion at your Lordship's lotus feet. When Prahlāda Mahārāja chants Om Namo Bhagavate Nṛsiṁhaya, he prays for a benediction from the Lord, but because he is also an exalted Vaishnava, he wants nothing for his personal sense gratification. The first desire expressed in his prayer, Savastayastu Vishivasya. Let there be good fortune throughout the entire universe. Prahlāda Mahārāja thus requested the Lord to be merciful to everyone, including his father, a most envious person. According to Chanakya Pandita, there are two kinds of envious living entities. One is a snake, and the other is a man like Hiranyakashipu, who is by nature envious of everyone, even of his father or son. Hiranyakashipu was envious of his little son Prahlāda, but Prahlāda Mahārāja asked a benediction for the benefit of his father. Hiranyakashipu was very envious of the devotee, but Prahlāda wished that his father and other demons like him would give up their envious nature by the grace of the Lord and stop harassing the devotees. Khalaḥ prasidatam. The difficulty is that the khalaḥ, envious living entity, is rarely pacified. One kind of khalaḥ, the snake, can be pacified simply by mantras or by the action of a particular herb. mantrao sadhi vasha surpa kalakena nirvayate. An envious person, however, cannot be pacified by any means. Therefore, Prahlāda Mahārāja prays that all the envious persons may undergo a change of heart and think of the welfare of others. If the Krishna consciousness movement spreads all over the world, and if by the grace of Krishna everyone accepts it, the thinking of envious persons will change. Everyone will think of the welfare of others. Therefore, Prahlāda Mahārāja says, Shivam mato daya. In material activities, everyone is envious of others, but in Krishna consciousness, no one is envious of anyone else. Everyone thinks of the welfare of others. Therefore, Prahlāda Mahārāja prays that everyone's mind become gentle by being fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna. It's indicated elsewhere in the Bhagavatam, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayo, and is advised by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Mamana Bhakta, one should constantly think of the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna. And then one's mind will certainly be cleansed. Cheta Darpana Marjanam. Materialists always think of sense gratification, but Prahlāda Mahārāja prays that the Lord's mercy will change their minds and they will stop thinking of sense gratification. If they think of Krishna always, everything will be all right. Some people argue if everyone thought of Krishna in that way, the whole universe would be vacated, makes everyone would go back to home, back to Godhead. However, Srila Vishwanath Adhikari says that this is impossible because the living entities are innumerable. If one set of living entities is actually littered by the Krishna consciousness movement, another set will fill the entire universe. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jatam Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Ladita Shri Vishakam Vitam Scha Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Svaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So, this verse in purport has a very special connection with me, and I appreciate very much that I've been asked to speak on this verse today. There's many, many things I can say about it. I don't know how much time we have, but I'll say as much as I can. One thing is, it talks about the universe, throughout the entire universe. But universe has two different meanings. It can mean this particular universe, can also refer to the multi-universe. So universe can actually mean the entire material existence according to context. But we see here in this context, it refers to the entire material existence, because he is praying that all envious persons be pacified. Throughout the universe, may all envious persons be pacified, may all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga. So all living entities here is all throughout the entire material world. So this universe here is the entire material existence, not particularly this one little teeny mustard seed within the vast bag of mustard seeds, the whole material existence. I actually had it highlighted here in my, see, I've been highlighted here in my database. We should pray, Bahir Nṛsiṁha Hṛdaye Nṛsiṁha. Let Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva sit in the core of my heart, killing all my bad propensities. Let my mind become clean so I may peacefully worship the Lord and bring peace to the entire world. So here it's very clear, the entire world, not this particular universe. So Bahir Nṛsiṁha means, Bahir is outside and Hṛdaye is in the heart. So let my inside be completely, perfectly Nṛsiṁhatized, and let the entire material existence now be completely, perfectly Nṛsiṁhatized. So actually, every day, we're praying that I can become purified and the whole material existence can become purified. And not just the material existence is purified, but may I bring peace to the entire world. So I'm praying that I can become pure and that I can make the whole world pure. In other words, I'm praying that I personally can live with the entire material existence. That's what Bahir Nṛsiṁha means. I pray that now I personally can deliver all living entities in the material world back to home, back to Godhead. Now, another point that I sometimes, the realization I had in Mauritius, I've been many times praying, it says you can ask for a benediction. So I'm always asking for the benediction that I can deliver all living entities in the entire material existence back to home, back to God. But another interesting point is, in the end of the purport, even if everyone goes back to God, another set will fill up the material world again. It's like, you know, there's always living entities falling down from the spiritual world eternally. So I realized during this big festival we had in Mauritius, when I bowed down to, it was the 50th anniversary when Prabhupada set foot in Mauritius. It was a huge festival. I mean, a big, the whole island, all the devotees all over the whole country came together. It was a big, huge festival. So when I offered my obeisance to Prabhupada, I realized, well, I said, Prabhupada, then let me take birth after birth eternally. Let me remain eternally in material existence, delivering one set after another set after another set for all of eternity. I was praying for that benediction. So that's where this point is mentioned. I don't know if it's mentioned anywhere else in Prabhupada's books. Another set will fill it up. There will be constantly be, the material world will always be filled up with conditioned souls. So, there's many, many points here. Let's see, most we can talk about more. He's praying that all the envious person can be pacified. So we find out in preaching there are envious persons who are opposed to our preaching. So Prahlāda is praying that may they all become pacified. And his father was the prime example of that. So he's actually, the pure devotee is a well-wisher, even if those who are his enemies, who are envious of him, who are his enemies. He remains the well-wisher of all living entities. That's the position Prahlāda Mahārāja is teaching us, you see. So, how to become non-envious? That's the big challenge we face, you see. We're being targeted by envious persons. They're acting against us, you see. So how to be the well-wisher of those who are targeting, they're targeting their envy against us, to suppress us, to exploit us or whatever. How to be like Prahlāda with his own father. Imagine being put in boiling oil by your own dad. My dear son, here's some boiling oil. Can you imagine being dipped in boiling oil? But he was praying he wasn't praying his father could be cursed for his sinful activities. He was praying his father can be delivered. Please excuse him, my dear Lord, for all of his sinful activities, let him become delivered. He prayed for that, but in spite of that, Nṛsiṁhadeva came and ripped his guts out. But he didn't pray his father could have his guts ripped out. He didn't pray for that. He prayed that please excuse him. He was a well-wisher, but even his envious father tried to kill him in so many ways. Another interesting point that came out here, we pray, every day we pray in the Vanchakalpa, you know, fulfill all the desires. This is like with the translation here. You always pray every day. We're just like desire, chase, fulfill the desires of everyone. Well, that's great. I wanted to get a Rolls Royce. I've always wanted a Rolls Royce, and now the devotees will give me a Rolls Royce. Ki Jai. Vaishnavas Ki Jai, get my Rolls Royce. Ki Jai. Is that what, then why do we say fulfill the desires of everyone? What does that mean? What does it mean? Well, I just read the other day in Prabhupada's books an amazing statement. On the material level, we get our desires only fulfilled so much as we deserve, you see, according to my karma, you see. I get what I deserve. I get a slap in the face or I get a garland, according to my karma, you see. In the material world, that's how it works. But when you fully surrender to Krishna, my dear Lord, do whatever, I give up all my desires, I fully surrender to you, do with me whatever you like. Then Prabhupada said, Krishna fulfills all your desires. So that makes it an interesting question. If I don't have any desires, how can Krishna fulfill all my desires? That's a question you would normally have. I have no desires, and with first of all, I have no desires, and how Krishna can fulfill all my desires? I don't have any. I haven't read an answer in Prabhupada's books. But how could that be? How could you answer? If I have no desires, how can Prabhupada say Krishna fulfills all the desires? Well, that obviously means spiritual desires, obviously. So, a devotee can have spiritual desires, just like I have a desire to make the whole world Krishna conscious, for example. That's a spiritual desire. So, if you put yourself fully in the hands of Krishna, He can fulfill all your spiritual desires. So I'm waiting for that day, you see. I'm praying for that day. And Prabhupada told me I could aspire for that day in one letter, you see. But the challenge was all material desire is zero. And Prabhupada said, he gave me a very powerful, he said, whether you can be like that, you see. Whether you can be like that. So I said, Prabhupada, on my own, I can't be that way. But by your mercy, I can be that way. You see. So I'm asking that benediction again and again and again and again for Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I have no ability to kick out my material desires, completely caught in material desires. I'm drowning in an ocean of material desires, Prabhupada. But whether you can be like that, by your mercy, Prabhupada, I can be like that. So I'm begging that benediction for Prabhupada, I can be like that. All material desires. He said, all material desires, zero. I like the way he said it. All material desires, zero, he said. So, I understand I had to be non-envious person, even though they're envious of me, I had to be their non-envious well-wisher, the friend of all living entities. Krishna says, Hṛdam sarvabhutanam, I'm the well-wishing friend of all living beings. So I have to follow in the footsteps of Krishna. Krishna consciousness means to be the well-wisher, the non-envious well-wisher of all living beings. That's it. So how to pull it off? Here we are, envious rascals, you know, what did you do that to me? Yeah. You see, why do you treat me that way? Yeah. You see, isn't it? We get really uptight when they mistreat us, isn't it, we get really angry. Isn't it? We get a little angry, isn't it? What are you doing to me? You rascal, why you treat me that way? Isn't it? Don't we feel that way? Oh yeah, we really do. We're like barking dogs in one sense. Isn't it? Isn't it? And we like a barking dog. We have that tendency, you see. We have to rise above it, you see. We have to rise above that tendency to be envious, non-well-wishers, become non-envious well-wishers. So, how to do that? Well, there's many ways to approach that. One thing is Prahlāda's in that mood. We can beg Prahlāda. My dear Prahlāda Mahārāja, please, best may I become like him, follow in your footsteps, and he's one of the great Vaishnava acharyas also. And following your steps and become a non-envious well-wisher, even those who are envious of me, you see. So there's many, many points. I can keep on talking, just look at different phrases within this purport. May all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga. Did you ever think that Krishna consciousness means becoming calm? Did you ever think Krishna consciousness means becoming calm? Did you ever think of it that way? I want to become calm. Calm down. Somebody gets all riled up and envious, and somebody gets all angry. Say, Prabhu, please calm down. Can you calm down, Prabhu? Calm down, calm down, calm down. You see. So becoming Krishna conscious means become perfectly calm. Notice we have a tendency to overwhelmed by anger, greed, lust. You see, these things get in the way. But when you're calm, there's no anger, there's no lust, there's no greed, there's no envy. So we have to learn how to calm down. You see, being calm is the natural position of the living entity, isn't it? We're naturally calm. We're not lusty, we're not angry, we're not greedy, but these things are polluting us. You see, we're polluted by lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and envy. We're polluted by them. So being calm means completely peaceful. You see. Totally peaceful. I'm not agitated by anything. I can just take unlimited shelter of Krishna's name, his fame, his pastimes, his forms, his dham, even the dust here in Vrindavan, you see. As I mentioned previously, last night, there's dust in the air just by breathing the dust of Vrindavan. It's 1,000 times more powerful than any other thing. This breathing here, you get 1,000 times benefit. So let's take advantage of the wonderful atmosphere in Vrindavan, the association of devotees. Prabhupada is present here. Don't think he's dead and gone. Prabhupada is fully present here. This is Prabhupada's pet project, to make a temple here in Vrindavan. And so Prabhupada is personally present here. And if we learn how to connect with Srila Prabhupada, with Krishna Balaram, Prabhupada offered the first arati to Krishna Balaram. You think those are deities? Think again. Krishna and Balaram are actually standing there, you see. Prabhupada wouldn't offer arati to some stone statues. Krishna and Balaram are actually standing here, manifesting their lila, you see. So we have to, if we learn how to connect, then we become calm, you see. When I'm calm, nothing can bother me. Somebody slaps him in the face, well, Haribol, try the other side too, Prabhu. I mean, just imagine. Actually, in Christianity, there's a saying called turn the other cheek. And Christians have that saying. They don't follow it because they kill the animals, but they have saying, turn the other cheek. You slap me here, and I did slap on this one too, you see. That's being calm, being the benefactor of all living beings. You may curse me, you may hit me, it's all right. May you have all blessings to become happy, you see. And that's Krishna consciousness. For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Well, if I don't think of others' welfare, I haven't really accepted devotional service. If I'm not the well-wisher of all living beings, even a little ant crawling on the floor, if I'm not the well-wisher of all living beings, that means I haven't really accepted devotional service. Isn't it a fact? If I'm not the well-wisher of every single living being throughout the entire material existence, then that means I have not yet accepted devotional service. In other words, I'm in Maya. I'm in Maya. So how to get out of Maya? The shelter of the spiritual masters there, the Vaishnavas, the holy names, the scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita, the nectar of devotion, the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's all there waiting for us. Conclusion is, therefore let us all engage in the service of supreme transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thoughts of him. So Krishna consciousness means always thinking of Krishna. If I'm not always thinking of Krishna, I'm in Maya, you see. What a percentage am I in Krishna conscious? To whatever extent I'm thinking of Krishna in my 24 hours, that's the extent I'm Krishna conscious. It's a simple thing. Many times I'm asked in Trivandrum, they ask me, how can I measure my advancement in Krishna consciousness? It's simply a matter of how much you're thinking of Krishna, you see. A little bit more. Actually, your day should be jam-packed with Krishna thought. From the moment you get up to the moment you go to bed. And dreaming also, Krishna conscious dream. So now, Guru Maharaji, you want to add some points? Or we open up some questions? Confusions, doubts, whatever. It's all welcome. Now's your chance. You get 1,000 times benefit here in Vrindavan. Remember, if you have any doubts, questions, confusions, delusions, arguments, throw it on the table. You get 1,000 times benefit here in Vrindavan. This is the best time to inquire here in Vrindavan. You get 1,000 times benefit. Yeah.
See, Guru, in helpless condition, in a condition of helpless, should we consider it its mercy, or should we continue our endure more and more?
The more you be helpless, the more you get help. Helplessly hoping. So you should feel unlimitedly helpless. And then Krishna, you get special mercy from Krishna. So the more you feel helpless, the more you get the mercies. Yeah, I'm pretty tough, I can barely handle this, I'm pretty tough, No, I'm completely helpless. I have no ability to control my mind, my thoughts, my words, my anger. I'm completely helpless. I have no ability whatsoever to control my mind. The more you feel helpless, the more you get help. So that's called humility. Does it make sense?
Yes, Gurudev.
Okay, good. Let's see if any chat window. No chat window. Okay, anything else? Yes, Sanjay.
Gurudev, so you talk about envy. So envy in the world. So sometimes envy keeps creeping back to us for some reason. So how do we keep it out?
So you spoke about envy, and envy sometimes creeps back. How to avoid that?
Into your heart, it will creep, right? Or maybe it's already there and I haven't gotten rid of it yet. So you say, well, sometimes I'm envious, then you're pretty advanced. I mean, sometimes you're not envious. You see. Sometimes envy overcomes my heart, but actually, the real thing is I'm polluted by envy right now. Sometimes I'm envious, that's a very advanced position. But I know my position is I'm totally envious 24 hours a day. So, how to get out of, into your heart, it will creep, you may think, but actually I'm already contaminated. It's like a sick person. He's sick 24 hours a day, isn't it? I'm sick. Well, doctor, sometimes, between noon and 2 o'clock I'm healthy, but the rest of the day I'm sick. No. When you're sick 24 hours a day. When I'm polluted by envy, I'm always polluted by envy. Not that sometimes, of course, sometimes it gets worse. That can be understood. But sometimes it becomes obvious I'm envious. Sometimes I don't think I'm envious. But actually the fact is we're envious 24 hours a day. If we were non-envious, we could see Krishna directly face to face, eye to eye, 24 hours a day. See, our envy is blocking us from experiencing Krishna, isn't it a fact? The fact is we're envious 24 hours a day, but sometimes it gets worse. And that's when we think, oh yeah, I'm envious. Sometimes we forget that we're envious. Sometimes we realize we're envious. That's what it is. Yes. Huh?
We are envious, that's why we are here.
That's right. Envy brought us here. We're envious. Somebody asked me, if I'm envious of somebody else, does that mean I'm envious? It's in thought for the day it's coming out. If I'm envious of somebody else, that means I'm envious. Gaurav asked the question. Does that mean envy of Krishna? Yes. If I'm envious of anyone or anything, it's all a manifestation of my envy of Krishna. Envy of Krishna is the foundation of our being here in material life. Why Krishna gets the supreme? Why not me? You see? He goes, all right, I'll give you a universe. You can have your own universe. Yeah. So envy of Krishna is the root cause of all envies. So if you can overcome your envy of Krishna, all the enviousness will go away. So we have to be non-envious of Krishna and pray for, that's why Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. You have to be completely surrender the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, begging the mercy, begging I can completely be non-envious. Any other questions? That's it? Here's.
How to overcome the material conditioning?
Overcome what?
Material conditioning.
Material
Conditioning.
Because
material conditioning.
yeah, because that is
Material
the
conditioning means envy. It means addiction. It's like some kid, he never had any taste of cigarettes, and he tries it tastes horrible, and all of his friends are smoking, so to be a part of the group, he starts smoking. He gets addicted to it, starts to taste good after a while. You see. So conditioning means addiction. We're conditioned to try to enjoy sense gratification, the tongue, the belly, the genitals, etc. You see. We're conditioned or addicted to these things. So how to get rid of it, is that what you're asking?
Gurudev, actually, because of the material conditioning, so I feel that we cannot do bhakti. So material conditioning become an obstacle.
The way to overcome one addiction is to take a new addiction. Become addicted to Krishna, which is a higher form, it's a better addiction. And our nature is to be addicted, our condition. So I have to take a new conditioning. And the higher taste versus the lower taste. So we had to develop a taste for Krishna consciousness. Just like the cigarette smoker, he had no taste in the beginning. By association, he took it up. Now he has a taste for it. He can't live without it. So by the association of devotees, association with the pure devotee, we especially had mentioned in Prabhupada's books, there's two ways you can take up bhakti. One is carry over from a previous lifetime. Another way is by associating with the pure devotee. So we should take advantage of the Krishna consciousness movement to become conditioned to devotional service. And then the lower conditioning will go away in due course of time. You see? Become conditioned, putting on tilak, neck beads, obeisances, the whole thing. Prasadam, japa, darshan, dham, visiting, everything. Even Vyas Puja, for example. Everything there is to condition us to become addicted to Krishna. You see?
Thank you.
Anything else? Yeah.
Can we dovetail envy to something in a spiritual way?
Hmm?
Like enviousness is always there somehow. So can we dovetail into like something like spiritual, or it has to be cut it down?
Can you spiritualize envy?
Yeah.
Well, Prabhupada told me in a letter, spiritual envy means, see somebody else is serving Krishna nicer than me, so let me try harder so Krishna will recognize me also. Prabhupada personally told me, spiritual envy. You know, well, you play Madanga pretty good. Wow. I mean, your Madanga playing is fantastic. Well, let me learn also. See if I can, so Krishna can recognize me also. Or wow, you give fantastic lectures, or you sing really nicely, or whatever. You can try, you be inspired by others' expertise to try to also get Krishna's recognition. Prabhupada called that spiritual envy. Prabhupada personally told me. So that's where you can dovetail envy in Krishna's service. Wow, you can really cook an amazing sabjis. Let me try harder so Krishna will enjoy my sabjis also. That's an example.
If somehow, if we are having some envy towards a devotee and we know it should not be there, so how to deal with that thing?
If I'm envious of other devotees, I should become the non-envious well-wisher. Even if a devotee is envious of me and tries to sabotage my preaching, for example, I should be the non-envious well-wisher of that devotee. That's our philosophy. So how to develop that? Pray to Prahlāda Mahārāja. He's the perfect example. He was the well-wisher of his father. He was trying to kill him in so many ways. So just pray to Prahlāda Mahārāja. He's the acharya of non-enviousness. Even those who are trying to kill him, he's a non-envious. So just pray to Prahlāda Mahārāja. And Lord Jesus is another example. He was nailed to a cross. He was bleeding. He was going to die, nailed to a cross. He said, "Father, forgive them, because they don't know what they're doing." Just see. Lord Jesus also. We can pray to Jesus and to Prahlāda. They're both great Vaishnava acharyas, to develop that mood of non-enviousness. Anything else, Guru Maharaji? Everybody is satisfied now. I want to become non-envious well-wishers of all living entities, in spite of even those who are harassing me and trying to exploit me. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Please accept my humble obeisances. Gurudev, like in the purport it is mentioned that a devotee is like a he's like a giver, like he always give. He fulfill others' desires, like he fulfill others' wishes.
Yeah,
what does it mean? Could you please elaborate?
The innermost desire of every living entity is to be a pure devotee of Krishna. So actually what everybody desires in the heart of hearts is to become Krishna's pure devotee. So that's the desire the devotees fulfill, the desire to become Krishna conscious. Okay? Yeah. Is that it? Finished? Had enough? Let's see about the chat window. Yeah, all the chats are rolling in. Okay. I couldn't clearly understand the point your Grace mentioned in being calm is Krishna consciousness. I thought Krishna consciousness automatically makes one calm. Yeah, it's not that becoming calm you become Krishna conscious. It's by becoming Krishna conscious you become calm. That's it. Okay. In other words, the real point is this: you cannot become calm without Krishna consciousness. You may artificially try to become calm, but your calmness will not last. That's called the mode of goodness. If you try to become calm in the mode of goodness degrades into passion and ignorance periodically. That's its nature. It's not steady. Mode of goodness is not steady, it degrades into passion and ignorance because it has passion and ignorance within it. So, if you want to be truly calm, you have to become Krishna conscious. Otherwise your calmness will be temporary only. And the purport second is mentioned in the second paragraph, the material world is full of envious persons, but if one frees himself from envy, he becomes liberal in his social dealings and thinking about his welfare. Yes. What it means here to become liberal in social dealings means a well-wisher, simple thing. Liberal means to be kind and generous like that. To always be the well-wisher, even of those who are trying to exploit me, for example. Okay, anything else? Yes.
Microphone.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. When we hear these qualities of devotees, it may seem that one may try to develop those qualities, but those devotees also act very strongly when it is required. So, how does one try to develop these qualities at the same time not get kind of exploited or by others?
Somebody is explaining me how to become a well-wisher without allowing them to exploit me more. Yeah. Well, probably a good example. Even before he became the spiritual master of ISKCON, in his early days as a householder, he was dealing with a bank manager, and the bank manager tried to cheat him. The Prabhupada outsmarted him, He said, "Oh, Mr. Day, you should have been a politician." So, you should be very clever not to let others, as we say, rip you off. You have to be when somebody's trying to rip you off, you should be very clever. They can't get away with it on the material. So also you have to be intelligent enough. Somebody's trying to exploit you, how to avoid being exploited by your good intelligence. That's one example of Prabhupada. Understand?
So these qualities naturally develop, and those intelligence naturally comes when one becomes more Krishna conscious.
Absolutely. The more you become Krishna conscious, the more you become calm. If you're 50% Krishna conscious, 50% calm. 90% like that. So when we're totally calm, we don't get disturbed by anything at all, that means we're 100% Krishna conscious. But a Krishna conscious person is not a dummy also. If somebody's trying to rip me off, I'm smart enough to let them do it. You see. That everybody satisfied now? Ready to adopt this mood of being the well-wisher of all living entities throughout all material existence? Yes.
In the purport, many times it is mentioned by Srila Prabhupada that if by the mercy of Krishna, everyone can only it says that if there is a mercy from Krishna, then a person can be transformed.
Become what?
A materialist can be a devotee. Like my question is, how can somebody who is materialist or who is envious attract the mercy from Krishna?
How can the envious person get the mercy of Krishna? By the mercy of the pure devotee. Chigai Madai, look at Mrgari the hunter. He was tricked into chanting the name of Ram. That's the mercy of Narada Muni. You see. The mercy of a pure devotee can turn an envious person, a snake-like person, into a pure devotee. The mercy of a pure devotee.
And how can we attract the mercy from a pure devotee?
Well, by hearing submissively. Because then his words can, if you have a block, you won't get it, but you have to unlock the block and let the words of the pure devotee go into your heart to purify your consciousness. By submissive hearing from the pure devotee, just like all these hippies became happies by hearing from Prabhupada. All these drug-addicted, sex-monger hippies became pure devotees by hearing from Prabhupada because they were very attracted to hearing. All we wanted to do was hear Prabhupada. I want to hear Prabhupada, I want to hear Prabhupada, I want to hear Prabhupada. That was our greatest ecstasy, to sit and hear Prabhupada speaking. You see. So that the transcendental sound vibrations from his lotus mouth, how do we pray every day? My only desire is to have, yes, we pray, sing every day, my only desire is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. If you do that, your envy can go away. By hearing submissively from the spiritual master, then your envy can go away.
Thank you, Gurudev. And in the purport, towards the end, it's mentioned that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that everyone cannot be Krishna consciousness. Well, I could not understand that point.
Let's see that. Let's see where it's to that. What's the last paragraph?
Yes.
Okay. It's impossible. See, some people argue that, well, if one set of living entities is actually liberated by the Krishna consciousness movement, another set will fill up the entire universe. So it's stated in the Itihasa Samuchaya, it's quoted by Prahlāda Mahārāja to, see, who was he talking? I forget he was preaching to. Janmantara sahasveshu yashasabhada idashi dasaham bhajate vasha sarvaloka samudade. If after thousands and thousands of births one realizes I'm the eternal servant of Krishna, he can deliver all living entities in the material world back to home, back to Godhead. So it is possible. And it's also stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. See here, how's it go? Samyipya sonitena jidashada yanme utamadikari se taraye samsare. If one is expert in logic, argument, and revealed scriptures, and has firm faith in Krishna, he can deliver all living entities in the material world back to Godhead. He's an utamadikari, he can deliver the whole world. So it is possible the whole world to become delivered, according to Shastra. And that's what Shastra says. But then after you deliver, another group will come. That's what he's saying. Another come will fill it up. So you can keep delivering one set, another set, another set. The Uttamadikari can do it. Another set, another set, another set. Keep delivering eternally.
Thank you, Gurudev.
See, nothing anymore in the chat window. Okay. How to get over hesitation in sharing Krishna consciousness concepts with others? Well, preaching is actually addictive. Once you start preaching, you go, wow, this is ecstatic. You become addicted to preaching because actually there's nothing more ecstatic than preaching. What can I say? You got to come out of your cloud and start preaching. Because once you start doing it, you become enlivened by it. I mean, there's nothing more ecstatic than preaching. It's better than anything else in the material world. So you just got to start doing it. If you're shy, well, give it a try. Give it a try. If you're shy, go ahead and try it anyway. Put your shyness away and just try preaching a little bit. And you go, wow, this is really ecstatic. And your shyness will go away. Finally, you become more and more bold. The more you try it, the more you like it, and the more you become bold automatically. Is hesitation a form of envy? Well, if I'm shy to preach, is that a symptom of envy? Interesting question. If I'm afraid to preach to anybody, does that mean I'm envious? Well, there's some connection, actually. Because envy is blocking us from pure bhakti, and if I don't want to preach, so there is a connection between envy and hesitation to preach. There is a connection there. Yes. Anything else? Yes.
Gurudev, Krishna sends his devotees to reclaim the fallen souls. So the pure devotees have to come down in this material world to recover them.
There could be a condition. So became a pure devotee by hearing from the pure devotee.
Yes. So my inquiry is, Gurudev, who is more fortunate, like those who are fallen devotees or the fallen souls here, or the devotees of Krishna who come down?
They're equally fortunate. They're equally fortunate. Whether your conditioned soul became a pure devotee, or pure devotee who came in the spiritual world to preach, they're equally fortunate. Pure devotion to Krishna is unlimited good fortune, whether you always had it or you got it from the pure devotee association. Either way, you're equally fortunate. Whether I was born a millionaire or I inherited $1 million, what does it matter? I was born a millionaire or I inherited $1 million. I was a pauper who got $1 million. You have $1 million, you have $1 million. Who cares how you got it? Whether you always had it or you didn't have it and you got it. Actually, when it didn't have it and got it, there's a certain taste there. That's also true. There's a certain taste for one who didn't have it and got it, and there's a certain taste. But we can't minimize the taste of one who always had it. Also, can't minimize his taste.